before we get started, for those of you who keep a keen eye on the more core content of my channel, just to let you know that I have booked my ticket and travel for my next trip, which will be to Ewood Park for the game against Blackburn Rovers, and that's going to be on Tuesday the 8th of April. Got my tickets right here for Blackburn. It's my first trip up there, so I'm very excited about that, and I'll last be able to add another football video to the series. In the meantime, here's a film review. Starred Up. Okay, so Starred Up is a prison drama written by Jonathan Asser and directed by David Mackenzie, and it stars Jack O'Connell, Ben Mendelsohn and Rupert Friend in a very serious, very gritty and brutally violent story about a young offender who's been transferred to mix with the big boys, with the adult prisoners, basically because he's just too difficult to maintain in the sort of juvenile environment. So you see him arrive at the start of the film, and he doesn't take any time at all to demonstrate exactly what he's capable of in terms of looking after himself, and he certainly doesn't show any sign of being intimidated by being with the big boys, as it were. And it turns out his father is also a convict with a long sentence and is in the same prison as him, and suddenly realises that this is his opportunity to be the boy's father at last, and he tries to take it, and he's in conflict with himself because he's trying to do the right thing as a father and trying to learn at a very late stage how to do that, but at the same time maintain his own status within the prison among the other convicts. And then you've got Rupert Friend's character, who is a volunteer counsellor or therapist type who's trying to lead a group of prisoners who want to improve their own prospects via anger management and other kinds of conversations. And through that is where you get the character arc for Jack O'Connell's character, to see him make an attempt to grow as an individual in some way. But alongside that, you've got plenty of varying dynamics, plenty of conflicts, physical and verbal, between the prisoners and involving the officers there. Dialogue in the film is very, very natural. I wonder if it was devised and workshopped, perhaps. It's very realistic. It's the sort of thing you might see played out in front of you, and that really helps with your immersion in the environment. You also see a side of the behaviour of the prison staff, and it just touches on aspects that could be explored concerning the governors and the wardens and whatever job titles they hold. I'm not an expert on prison, to be honest. And it doesn't quite do that, because it keeps the running time not too long, 106 minutes, and it focuses on the central characters, and that's a good thing. But it hints at possibilities of exploring other aspects of the story, and then it doesn't quite fulfill them. But that's not to say it's not a satisfying film, because the central theme to the film is certainly enough. So this isn't a perfect film, but it's a very good film because it's very different, it's very well written, it's very well directed and very well acted, and even though there's hardly a change of scenery, it's just one ongoing situation, interaction after interaction, and everything follows from everything else. It doesn't feel static at all, it doesn't feel boring, and you do get a chance to care about some of the characters. I highly recommend it. It is definitely the film you want to be the right mood for. There aren't too many laughs. You will laugh at it, especially if you have an affinity with East End culture, you'll laugh at it in places, but you certainly want to be in the right frame of mind for the film. But yeah, do go and see it. It's definitely not the Shawshank Redemption. That's neither a praise nor a negative criticism, it's a very different feel to the film. But it is a very entertaining film about a prison, so it does at least have that much in common. I'm not sure what my next film's going to be. It might be Muppets, I don't know yet, but I can tell you one thing that I definitely won't be going to see, and that's that Sodding Noah film, which I've seen far too many trailers for already. It reminds me of how I felt when I saw trailers for the Titanic film back in the 90s. I was quite young then, but I do remember quite clearly how I felt. But at least Titanic is about something that actually happened. I hope they do put in one of those disclaimers saying all the characters are fictitious and the events are fictitious, etc., because they shouldn't they? Something I will be watching now is this little gem which I picked up in W.H. Smith's. I've not seen it before, but I've heard lots about it. My uncle was in it, so I'm really keen to see exactly what he was like, because it was made before I was born, obviously, so looking forward to that. Oh, and let me wish you all a happy Mother's Day. This is the card I'll be sending to mine. Alright, see you soon.